We could take a walk outside, let the sunshine reveal what's in the shadows. There's nothing left to hide. You'll see, you'll see. Complications never seem to cease. Turn the page, you'll find a new beginning. 'Cause right here in this moment, there's peace, there's peace. Eye to eye and heart to heart, we will find a brand new start.
I think 9/11 was the pivotal event of my lifetime, our lifetime, people my age. It's definitely set the tone and the stage for the kind of environment that we live in now, which is endless wars and this encroaching police state that we find ourselves in. None of this would have happened without 9/11, and none of this would have happened without what became the official story of 9/11, which I believe is a lie. There's mountainous evidence that proves otherwise, that it was, well, one piece in particular, the plans to go into Iraq were already on the table before the towers fell. So what was all that about? You know, explosives in the towers. There's just all this evidence that points that it being an inside job and not, you know, Iraqis with box cutters. So, and you know, going back to that pivotal event, questioning that event, I think, and asking for an independent investigation will shed light on it and bring the real criminals to justice, hopefully. So it all starts with questioning the event, doing your own research, and coming to your own conclusions. And I think once you start to look at it realistically and not clouded by any sort of false left-right paradigm, that you'll come to the realization that it truly was an inside job. It starts at the grassroots level. If we can start to affect change that way, then hopefully it will filter on up and get the people responsible, put behind bars, or worse, or better. So my hope is for people to wake up, realize that what they're living in is kind of a false reality in a way, and to do their own research, get together with like-minded people, because basically the mindset of what the government, the people that are in control, what they want to do now is to keep people separated and divided with all these false issues. You know, left, right, Republican, Democrat, black, white, racism, all of this stuff comes into play that are all side issues. They're all bread and circuses to keep us divided. So if you realize that and get above that and pull yourself out of the matrix, so to speak, then you can start to see reality for what it really is and see the level of control that you've been under. And once you do that, then you can start to get together as a community to affect change. So that's my hope.
Have you ever stopped to question, is this the story that we are going to be spoon-fed? Can you sleep at night wondering what the real truth is?
The government's official story on 9/11 does not answer the questions of how the buildings fell. The design of the buildings was such that planes striking it could not bring the buildings down, nor was the temperatures generated by the fires from the fuel sufficient to bring the buildings down. Building 7, the third steel reinforced building to fall that day, was not struck by planes. There were a few small fires in it, and yet it fell at free fall speed into its own footprint. The fact that the government story does not answer the questions how these three buildings fell needs to be answered. There's 3,000 or more victims that died. Their families cry out for justice, and this is the reason people are still talking about 9/11. It's the most significant event that's happened in our lifetime. The Patriot Act, Homeland Security Act, all came about as a direct result of 9/11. All they do is degrade the Constitution. The assault on the Twin Towers was nothing more than an assault on the Constitution of the United States. The government's complicity in this event needs to be addressed. It is too important to forget. It is too important to just let go. There has got to be an investigation that answers the questions of why those buildings fell, and then an investigation into who could possibly have done it. It clearly was not done by a group of desert nomads with box cutters. NORAD, the Pentagon, is the most defended building in the United States, and yet, although there are no pictures of it being struck by the plane, the government story is it was somehow attacked and damaged by a couple of people who couldn't even fly an airplane with box cutters. That defies the laws of logic. It defies any kind of rational thinking that those four planes were able to hit their targets or be blown up in the air. It is incomprehensible that this was not done without the government involvement. That's a question that needs to be addressed.
You can't handle the truth!
My understanding of 9/11, it being an inside job, is from a personal perspective. I was in the Air Force, so to have NORAD stand down and to claim that we are the biggest, baddest military on the face of the planet, it made no sense. The way the buildings came down made no sense. Planes don't do that. The buildings were constructed of reinforced steel and concrete. So there are many anomalies, many lies that can be shown as lies. The police state that has occurred since 9/11 was part of the reason for 9/11. Instead of there really being a legitimate enemy, they've manufactured an enemy. And they've used their new laws against us, the American people. For people who want to make a difference in America and in our world is to become independent. Grow a garden again. Stop eating their poison food and drinking their poison water and using their poison products. It's interfering with your ability to think. And so we as Americans are always repeating the standard line that, you know, we're number one and we are supposed to be a people, an independent people. Well, we need to really be independent for ourselves. And when we take back our personal power, the government no longer has any power over us.
Did you know that Osama bin Laden is not even wanted by the FBI for 9/11? Look up Osama bin Laden on the FBI website.
He's not even charged with the crime!
Message of love would just be let go of our egos and understand that we're all the same deep down. Spread peace and love. Shanti.
we will find a brand new star.